Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be creating a very interesting filter, which is a neck tattoo filter. So basically what we're trying to do is to use an image as a tattoo filter for the neck. The last time around we used a tattoo filter. We created a filter which was attaching uh, a tattoo to the face. Today we are going to attach an image. We can use any image in .png or .jpeg file format uh, as a tattoo filter, and it will be sticking on the neck, and then it will be hidden when it's hidden by the face, and it will be covered up by the clothes as well. So okay, let's get into it. So let's first open up Spark AR Studio. Okay, so these three images are the ones that I have downloaded from the Spark AR website. uh, yeah, these are the ones that I am intending to use in this tutorial. Okay, let's first open up a blank project. Okay, we have this person coming up. Okay, so let's minimize this and import the images here. So let's see which one looks better. Let's import all these three. Okay, and these are downloaded from the Spark AR website. I will put the link in the description. You guys can also download the same. So let's have a preview of the images. Okay, it contains black. Okay, so why I don't want to use, okay, let's use this a crying child face, cartoonist crying child face as the tattoo. Okay, so what we intend to do is let's try to break down the filter idea. Okay, so we want this image, this child image at the bottom right corner, to stick on the person's neck. Okay, this is the first thing. Okay, and then it should not be just at the person's neck, and when the person's body move, okay, left to right or up or down, anything, so it should move in accordance to the movement of the neck. So we need some way to track the position of the neck, and then connect with the image. Okay, and then also the second thing is that when the person's move like this, when the person's head moves downward, so if it is a tattoo on the neck, it should the face should cover the tattoo on the neck, right? So we need to create the occlusion effect. Okay, and then and if the tattoo uh, comes down here, so the cloth should cover the tattoo as well. So we need some sort of way to cover up the tattoo where if the person's wearing clothes, and it should create this will create a more realistic tattoo effect. Okay, so let's get into it, and it will become more clear once we start clearing the effect. So let's try using this image as the tattoo image. Okay, so first we want to track the position of this. We want to attach this image to the person's neck. So if it is a 2D image, so basically we need a rectangle. So we have created a rectangle. Let's rename it to the tattoo rectangle. Tattoo rectangle. Okay, so one interesting fact about this rectangle. So whenever we create a rectangle in our project, where do we see the rectangle coming up? We see the rectangle coming up at the top left corner, right? At the top left. This is the default location. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to move this rectangle to the person's neck, right? And attach the we want to move this rectangle to the person's neck, and then what do we want to do? We will attach the image. Will that work? yes, it will work if the person is static, if the person is not moving. But if the person's move, the image, the tattoo image and the person's neck will no longer be aligned. Okay, so this is why there need to be some sort of connection between this rectangle and the position of the neck. Okay, so let's first create a material for this rectangle so that we can apply the texture that we are going to use as the um, tattoo. So let's rename this to the material tattoo material. Okay, let's change the say the type to flat so that it does not, it's vibrant. So flat material, they are vibrant and they do not change in accordance with the lighting of the environment. Okay, surrounding environment. Okay, so texture wise we want to use the tattoo 01 crybaby. Tattoo 01 crybaby. Okay, so the image is slightly small. Okay, so like the size of the image, it will depend on you know on your preference. Okay, let's increase the size of this image. So this image is applied to this rectangle, so if you increase the rectangle size, let's double it, let's make it 3 times. Okay, let's see what happens. We make it to 300. Okay, 300 square. It's very big, so it's very big. Okay, it's very big. So let's make it to about 250. Okay, let's make it to about 250. No, let's make it about 230. Yeah, this value you have to adjust it on your own depending on the image that you have with you, depending on the image that you intend to use as the uh, let's make it 210. 210, depending on the image that you intend to use as the uh, tattoo. Okay, so what, so the size is right now I want the image to cover the chin and it to, so I want it to elongate a little bit height. So height wise I want, so what I intend to do is that I want this image to cover up the cloth. So when I apply the filter the next time around, I want the cloth to cover up the, so right now the image is on top of uh, the camera, so the camera fits, so we can see that the the, the tattoo coming up on top of the cloth. So I want the tattoo to be underneath the cloth and I want the tattoo to be underneath the chin. Okay, so for that what do we want to do? We want some sort of way to render the face on top. Right now, why? Okay, let's first complete this positioning issue. Right now the image is static, right? So we want to position the tattoo rectangle in accordance to the movement of the neck. Okay, so like, so we have a face tracking patch, right? So it tracks the movement of the face. Likewise we have a patch to track the position of the neck. We have a face finder patch, right? So it will find uh, faces detected by the camera, right? So likewise we have body select patch, so it will body finder patch, so it will find face in the camera feed. Okay, and then next we have body select, face select, right? We'll select first person, second face that has been detected by the camera. Likewise we can select, we have a patch called body select. It will select the body, the first person that has been detected has been, will be assigned an index of 0 and then likewise 0 1 2 3. Okay, yeah, so if we want to find bodies, first we have to find a body in the camera, we have to select the body, and then from the body we have to select the neck, where where we want to apply the uh, tattoo, and then that tattoo and from that position that has been provided by the neck patch, 2D neck patch, we are going to position the tattoo rectangle. Okay, so let's open up the patch editor. Okay, let's open up the patch editor. Okay, so we type, right click in the patch editor and type body. We have something called body finder, so it will find the body, the camera feed, and then we have to select the body, so type body select. Okay, and then provide the index of 0 if you want to select the first person that is detected by the camera feed. If you want to select if you want to find the second person that has been detected by the camera feed, index value should be 1. Okay, and then out of this we see this body marker. So Spark AI have the capability to detect the head, left arm, left leg, neck, right arm, right leg. Okay, for this project we need this leg 2D. So the output provided by the neck 2D pad is the x and y coordinates of the neck. Okay, so we want the data coming from the neck to be connected to the position of the rectangle. Okay, so we want this position patch. Okay, let's connect this to the position patch. Okay, so right now the position of the tattoo is slightly off, but at least when the person moves slightly upward and left right, the position of the, so it's the tattoo filter is no longer static, right? The tattoo filter, the tattoo image is no longer static, it's moving in accordance when the person's move, right? Position wise we can make some changes to the value. Okay, so we want, what do we intend to do? We want the tattoo to come upward and slightly to the left. Okay, so when we want uh, to move the position up and down, we'll make some changes to the y coordinates for up and down. And if you want to make some changes to the like if you want to move the image or an object left or right, it's done with the value of, it's done with the x-axis value. It's done with the x-axis value. Left to right, right to left, x-axis value, up and down, the y-axis value. Okay, so right now we are not happy with this position, so we need to subtract some value in the x-axis, we need to subtract some value in the y-axis, right? So disconnect this, and then we have a patch called subtract, which is the name suggests, to subtract the value. So we want to subtract two vectors. As we have already discussed, the output provided by the 2D patch is a vector of two value, x and y value. Okay, so we'll have the output coming from the output coming from the 2D patch. Okay, we can see the values changing when the person moves. Okay, we want to subtract some fixed value. Okay, so let's connect this value so that we can see where this tattoo is. Okay, so we want to move the tattoo little upward, right? So as we have already discussed, it's handled by the y-axis. So let's try subtracting some value. We subtract that is, it moves slightly upward. Okay, we can do more than that, so let's try 50. Let's see what happens. Okay, slightly moving upward. What about 60? We're happy with that. Okay, let's see. And if you want to move it to the left, we have to subtract some value from in the x coordinate. So let's try subtracting 60. Okay, we want to even little more than that, 60, say 70. Okay, what about 80? Okay, so what about 80? What about 90? Okay, okay, right now I'm happy with this value, not that much, but let's see 95. Okay, 95. um, let's make it 65 in the y-axis. Okay, right now I'm happy, not that happy, on some value 98. So let's make it 98. Okay, I'm happy with this. So what I'm intending to do is I want this tattoo to cover the throat and the chin. Okay, so that when we create this occlusion effect, we can see the result more clearly. Okay, so right now we can see that the tattoo is moving when we can see that the tattoo is moving when the person moves, right? This is how you track a position of a rectangle when with reference to the position of the neck using the neck 2D filter. Okay, but right now we have to do some more steps so that we can cover up the tattoo with the face. Okay, so how we intend to do is that we want to render the face on top of the rectangle. So if there is just one layer, in our project, how things are rendered in the scene panel, from the scene panel, is that the things on top are rendered first, and then moving downward, uh, device is rendered, and then camera is rendered, and then canvas is rendered. Okay, so when we say that they are rendered first, it means that they are rendered first, and then the things that comes below that will be rendered on top of that. Okay, so things rendered at the bottom will cover the things that are rendered before that. Okay, so if the tattoo rectangle is here, so let's create a filter for the face mask. Okay, so it will become more clear. Okay, so if you see here, so we can see that the face tracker is below the face mask is below the tattoo rectangle. It means that the tattoo rectangle will be rendered first, and then on top of that the face mask will be rendered. On top of that the face mask will be rendered. That's why this the 3D is covering up the 3D face mask is covering up the tattoo because it's rendered on top. Okay, this is what we intend to do. Okay, so let's create a material for this face. Okay, let's name it face material. Let's name it face material. Change the shader type to flat. Okay, so it does not have any texture, so we want the texture for the face. So texture for the face is available under the inspector panel of face tracker. Click the face tracker, and the inspector panel, texture extraction, we have a texture called face tracker here. Okay, so to this face mask material we want to apply the face tracker. Okay, so now you can see that the face is covering up the chin is covering up the tattoo, right? Okay, this is what we intended. This is done for the neck tattoo, for the face part. So now we are left with the clothes. Okay, so how do we extract the texture? So how will we cover the tattoo with the cloth? Okay, so we are going to render the cloth texture on top of the tattoo texture. Okay, like we did for the face tracker. So how will we do that? We'll use person segmentation. We use the face tracker texture, right, from the face tracker segmentation. So here we are going to use the person segmentation and the skin segmentation. So basically what we're trying to achieve is that, since we don't have a texture segmentation for the cloth, we'll get the person's texture. Okay, and then we'll get the skin texture, and then we'll subtract that, and then we are left with the cloth texture. Okay, so click the camera, go to the inspector panel, and under segmentation we have person segmentation, and then okay, let's rename it. This is the person segmentation, this is the person texture, this this is person texture. Go back to the camera again, click on segmentation, skin segmentation, right click and then click on skin texture. So what we are trying to achieve is that using the person texture and the skin texture, we will subtract those two and then we are left with the cloth texture, and then we will supply it as an alpha channel, alpha to the camera texture. Okay, so click here, texture extraction. Okay, we have this camera texture. Okay, so under this camera texture, we have this RGB and A. Okay, so and then what we intend to do, we will apply this texture to the a rectangle, right? So we'll fill, so we are going to create a new layer on top. We are going to create a new we are not going to use layers, we are going to use the rendering order here. Okay, so we are going to create a rectangle which will be rendered at the end, at the very end, at the last. So and this, on this rectangle we are going to supply the camera texture, and then the alpha channel will be provided by the person texture and the skin texture. Okay, for this we need this rectangle. Okay, so what we have to realize is that this rectangle should be on top of this rectangle should render after the tattoo rectangle, or in another way we can say that we want to render the uh, cloth uh, cloth rectangle on top of the tattoo rectangle, so that it feels like we are covering up the tattoo with our cloth. Okay, so let's fill this screen with the cloth rectangle. Okay, let's create a material where we can apply the texture. Okay, let's rename it to cloth material. Okay, so we have this cloth material, and then we want this texture. Okay, so we are going to supply this texture. Okay, so we are going to supply this with the diffuse texture, with the camera texture RGBA. Okay, so if you remember, okay, if you go to segmentation section, okay, and okay, we have this texture material. Okay, this alpha channel. Okay, so this cloth material, we have three way: RGBA, RGB and A. Okay, so this alpha value will be provided by the person texture and skin texture. Okay, so bring this to the patch editor here, bring this to the patch editor here. Okay, so since we don't have a texture for the cloth, we are going to subtract the person texture, we are going to subtract the skin texture from the person texture. So we'll be using the subtract patch. Okay, so subtract patch. So we need the alpha value. So RGBA is provided by the camera texture. Okay, we need the alpha value. Okay, so alpha value will generate from this two texture. Connect this to the top and then this to the, where did it go? Okay, here. So so we'll connect this alpha value. Okay, so how do we combine this? So now we have the alpha value of the cloth, and then this output we need to combine with the RGB. Okay, we need to combine, so we need to pack it. So we have this 3 value, but we just need 2 value, so change it to 2 vector. Okay, this alpha value, so RGBA is supplied to the cloth texture, this RGB will be supplied here, and then this alpha will come from the difference of these two value. Okay, connect it here, and then supply it to the diffuse texture. Supply it to the diffuse texture. Now, so if we connect this to the diffuse texture, all the values has been provided. Okay, so we just need RGB value, and then the alpha value is provided by this, and then you can see that it automatically changes it to here. Now you can see in the effect that since the texture for the cloth is rendered on top, it feels like the image has been the tattoo texture has been covered up, right? So this is how we create effects where we can occlude. So this is called occlusion effect. So you may call it whatever you want, but this is how you create the illusion of occlusion. Okay, by rendering the things on top of one another, by playing with the rendering feature. Okay, so I guess this will wrap up this tutorial. I hope you find this tutorial useful. I'll try to improve myself. Okay, and then continue to improve, and then and yeah, please support me on this journey as we try to grow this channel. I will need your support by liking this video and then subscribing to my channel. And thank you once again. Have a nice day. Bye bye.